Hello everyone. In this video, we are talking about rounds 7 through 9, where we're going to be exploring shopping ad campaigns. If you recall from rounds 1 through 3, we were focusing on our search ad campaigns. So here our focus was on targeting keywords that people might search for online. For example, if someone typed in college backpack and selected go, then they would end up on the search engine results page, aka the SERP, right? And in comparison, display ad campaigns targeted our audiences, topics, and pages. So the ads were then shown on relevant websites, and when someone clicks on these ads, then they end up on the landing page. For rounds 7 through 9, we are going to go back to creating shopping ad campaigns. And here our focus will be going to our search engine results page again. So for example, if someone typed in college backpack and selected go, then we would end up on the search engine results page, or the SERP. Shopping ads would be shown up at the top. However, instead of keywords that you pre-selected like in the search ad campaign creation, shopping ads are automatically being implemented using your product attributes to show your ads to relevant customers. So you are going to be giving this information to Google through your Merchant Product Center. And you will see in the simulation that this step has already been done for you within the simulation right here. And if you look at that page a little more closely, then you'll see that you've been given each of these products within your Merchant Center. So Google is going to end up looking at this information, and they're going to decide to show ads to people on the search engine results page under the shopping ads, depending on whether or not the search query that someone entered is relevant to the information you have in this Merchant Product Center. Okay? And when someone types in a keyword that relates to one of your attributes, the Google search results page will display that shopping ad at the same time as the text ads, giving you more opportunities to showcase your products. Now, unlike search ads, where we selected keywords people were likely to be searching for and which were more likely to give us high conversions, with shopping ads, we actually think about keywords that don't match our products and are less likely to convert. So here we focus on negative keywords, which allow us to guide the algorithm and help ensure that we're showing up as relevant solutions in the search engine results page. Instead of Google showing our products to all of these random people, we can give the algorithm a hand by providing negative keywords and tell Google to not show for searches that are less likely to convert. For example, if someone typed in American Dream Messenger, and then they ended up on the search engine results page right here, you wouldn't want your ad for the American Dream backpack to show up on this case. Even though it had the words American Dream, the searcher would be wondering, how is this relevant, right? Because they were looking for the American Dream Messenger. Most likely because they don't see the messenger in this ad, they won't bother clicking on the ad. And this means that you aren't actually losing any money here on your bid. So that is good, okay? However, your quality score could go down in this case because you didn't prepare for the scenario of the customer seeing something irrelevant. So the click-through rate is going to be pretty low. And having a lower quality score can impact your success in other items because it can make you have to bid more on keywords that actually matter. Let's think of another example. Let's say that someone types in 18-inch laptop sleeve backpack, okay? And they press go, they end up on the search engine results page, and the shopping ads for backpack showed up because of the relevant keyword backpack. Okay, so Google Shopping decided, yeah, this is relevant because of what was in the merchant product store, right? Customers might be interested here. Okay, because they see a backpack, they're like, oh, well, I searched for 18-inch, so it must be what I'm searching for. And by the way, if they are interested and they click on your ad, then you're going to pay for it, hence the name cost per click. So if they click on your ad and they will then land on your website, specifically on the landing page that was designed for the ad campaign you created, then they're going to look over your features and selling points to see if they found the solution to their problem. Remember, this particular customer searched for 18-inch laptop sleeve backpack. So if they read through these, features, right, they're going to see, if you recall from the simulation, that the American Dream backpack offers a 15-inch laptop sleeve. And once the searcher sees that they're not getting that 18-inch laptop sleeve that they wanted, they're going to bounce and they're not going to convert. And that means that you're basically just throwing your money away, right? Because you paid for that click and the customer clicked on it and they saw your offering and they said, nope, not for me, and they left. Okay, so that's important that you are going to do some keyword research. That's why keyword research is going to be important in these rounds. We want to focus on getting as many conversions as possible with our limited budget. And the way that we're going to do that in shopping ads is by adding negative keywords. Okay, so for example, what kinds of keywords might not convert? Well, if somebody searches how to make a backpack, how to, fix a backpack, how to something, that's not really somebody who's in the market to buy. If they search for free backpacks, again, they're not likely to be converting. If they search for discounted backpacks, they might be likely to convert, but they might just be looking for a sale. And if you're not offering a sale, then this would be a mistake. So you have to think about what it is that you're offering and does it match up, and will it be likely that the customer is going to find a value proposition that matters for them. You want to think about competitor brands. For example, if you have in your merchant product store backpack, right? And then Adidas or Adidas or, other branded, North Face or whatever, whatever it might be, these brands comes up and those will show up in the shopping ads and you're paying for it, then that's obviously not going to be good, right? So you want to put in competing brand names that might show up in your negative keyword list. You want to put in broader terms such as backpack. If somebody searches backpack, you don't actually know that they are searching for a backpack to buy. And you definitely don't know that they're searching for a Bowie backpack or an American Dream backpack. So you're likely to have a lot of people who maybe see your ad, click on your ad, and they're not interested. And then you'll be wasting your budget. So you really want to be very targeted in your selections. You also want to think about the AIDA model, so the attention, interest, desire, action. You want to think about the marketing funnel, in other words. So where you want to target is the conversion part. You want them to actually be taking action. You don't want to be doing shopping ads for someone who is figuring out if they're even interested in buying a backpack. Like, oh, should I buy a backpack? That's not someone who's actually going to convert right now. Maybe a search ad would be more convenient for them. The shopping ad is the actual conversion where they're going to be buying now, right? So you really want to be targeting very specific and targeted keywords that are focused on buying something rather than learning about something or rather than becoming aware of something. You wouldn't want just Bowie backpacks because that's finding out about Bowie backpacks. It's not actually buying Bowie backpacks. You also want to consider cheap budget versus high-end luxury. If you have a product that is very expensive and somebody's searching, cheap backpacks and your backpack is not cheap, then they're going to end up on your landing page and turn away. So again, you want to consider what it is that you're offering, what is somebody likely to be searching, and make sure that you have a comprehensive list of keywords that is not going to be likely to convert. Okay. One thing that I do want to point out though about the simulation is that when you get in there, you're going to notice that you've been given a limit of negative keywords that you can apply to your campaigns. Okay. And here it is right here. It's going to tell you that you can have up to 400 per ad group. And when I was experimenting with this round, I found that it only let me add 200, which is unfortunate because I could have had better results if I'd been allowed to do the full 400 negative keywords. It might be a bug, it might just be on my side, but that is something to consider. And I therefore suggest that while you're doing your keyword research, you sort by average monthly searches and select keywords that are more likely to be searched for so that you can avoid paying for keywords that don't align with your chosen product groups and are actually likely to be searched. Okay, so once we get into the simulation, I will show you how we can do this in a little bit. Now, another thing that you're going to want to think about in this round is how you want to set up your shopping campaigns. Adding all of your products into a single campaign can make it easier to manage. If you do not designate specific products or groups, all of your products will be eligible to appear in your ads. Okay, so you want to think about account setup, you want to think about campaign setup, ad group setup, and all of that. If you have very different return on ad spend or budgets for specific products, then it's better to split these groups into separate campaigns with separate budgets. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a common way that campaigns might be set up in shopping ad campaigns. And the way that this is here, you might have, obviously you're going to have your account, Buoy Supply Co., and you might have campaigns set up by product type. So you might have one for backpacks, one for duffels, one for messengers, one for travel, luggage, and so forth. And then you might go a little bit deeper into your OG backpack, your legacy backpack, your American Dream backpack. And then you'll be able to target even further by product groups, where you get to select all products, the product line, you get to select price, and you get to select the type of backpack, right? Now, this particular structure that I've shown you here, it might not be the optimal way within the simulation. This is just one way. Okay, you will want to spend some time actually thinking about what makes sense based on the information given and based on your own tests when completing each round. For example, if you find that you get amazing results with the American Dream backpack ads, but not the legacy backpack ads, then this setup might not be the best because you'll not be able to change your allocated budget at the ad group level. Budget is set up at the campaign level. So if you want to adjust, budgets every round, then you'll want to have, you might want to actually do it by product. Perhaps you decide to do a campaign on each product in that case. Or maybe you do a campaign on products that have the highest revenue or profit margin and another campaign with lower revenue profit margin products, right? So definitely spend some time thinking about how you want to structure it because it is going to have an impact on how you get to optimize your results in each round going forward, okay? Another thing to think about here is on the bottom, okay, which is where you're actually basically doing your targeting options in these rounds. And this is called our product groups. Okay, so here we're going to be given 4 different options. And our first option is all products. This is the most broad. So if you select this option, that means that you're going to have your ad show up for all products in your merchant product center. So we had all of these. So if you do select that, then you'd be bidding on all of them. And that means that all of them would be showing up. Okay. If you selected product lines in your grouping, then you will have options to select from the product line options. And you could technically pick more than one because these are little check boxes. And if you select American Dream, for example, then it will only show ads for the 3 American Dream products, which were the American Dream Duffel, the American Dream Messenger, and the American Dream Backpack. If you select price ranges in your grouping, then you have 2 options to select from. And again, you technically could select both of them because it does let you do the checkbox, but I would probably choose one. And if you select, for example, $65 or more, then it will show ads only for products that cost more than $65 or 65 as well. Okay. And if you select the types grouping, then you have the options to select from the product type options. And you could technically pick, again, more than one. Here, if you selected backpack, for example, it's only going to show ads for your backpack products, your legacy backpack, your American Dream backpack, and your OG backpack, for example. Okay. Now, something that is very important to consider when you're choosing your product groups and overall campaign structure is that negative keywords are placed at the ad group level. This means that if you created an ad group for the American Dream backpack and then made a product group called backpack, your ad is going to show up for all types of backpacks. So in that case, you will want to make negative keywords that would be related to the OG backpack and legacy backpack, since your goal for that ad group was to focus on the American Dream backpack. So then you would, of course, want to create other ad groups or campaigns focused on your alternative products so that you get that maximized relevance and targeting across your whole campaigns and across your whole account. Okay. Another thing that we're going to be focusing on in this round, of course, is bidding. Now, unfortunately, there's no winning number when it comes to this simulation. You and I are not privy to what competitors are bidding, and we don't know what Google has deemed our quality score to be. So we have to take a best guess when it comes to selecting our default CPC and max CPC. You're going to have to actually do some trial and error, and you're going to have to adjust each round based on your performance. So here is my advice, however. It's usually best to start lower and then you can raise it, okay? You can also consider the historical CPC, cost per click, which has been given to you as a starting point. If you want to bid aggressively, of course, you can go slightly over that, around 10 to 20 cents. Or if you want to go even more aggressive, you can go a little bit more than that. Bottom line, though, it's going to be a fine balance. Okay, you're going to have to look at your results each round, and you're going to have to make a decision on whether you need to adjust your bids and how you need to adjust them. For example, if you look at your results and you see that you did not exhaust your budget and your ad did not run, or it's not getting that many impressions, that usually means that your CPC is too low. Okay, so that means that you need to raise your cost per click. You need to raise your bidding. If you have a lot of impressions but not many conversions, then you probably are overpaying for the ad. So it's a good idea to lower your CPC. Okay, so let's jump into the simulation real quick and see what some of this stuff looks like in real life. Let's go. Okay, so here we are in the simulation for round 7. You should, as usual, be reading your inbox. You'll see that we've been given a larger budget and that we're still actually working on all of our campaigns. Okay, so even though we are doing the shopping ads, if you've been finding really great success with any of your other ads, I definitely encourage you to continue optimizing them, continue reallocating your budget. You don't have to put all of your budget into the shopping campaign. Because remember, your goal is to try and get as much revenue as you can, to try and get as much return on ad spend as you can, and really just perform better overall. Okay, but you have been given this task to create a new shopping campaign, and you'll see that they are expecting you to at least have a 1.5% conversion rate on the shopping ad campaign. Okay, so how does it look? Well, the first thing that you'll want to do is look at your merchant product center. And this is where you have access to see all of the products that I showed you. So the products that will show up are the American Dream backpack, American Dream duffel, and so forth. And you have not really that much information here shown, but it is just a quick overview of what's available. And then you have in your campaigns where you're going to actually create it. Okay, so mine is showing that I can't click because I've actually already created them. But if I said that this was, only $1, then I would be able to create a new campaign by selecting shopping ad. And, my goal here is sales. And I would name my campaign. Okay, so maybe I want to do backpacks. And I would create a daily budget. So perhaps 94, whatever you feel you want to allocate. Okay, this is all going to depend on how you're performing in your other campaigns, but I would definitely recommend allocating something toward it so that you can get some practice with shopping campaigns, and you might actually find that you do better at your shopping campaign. So it all depends on how you perform. Okay, so put in some budget there. You can leave default CPC blank for there right now. And then it will ask you to do an ad group. So perhaps you do American Dream backpack. right? Because we did our campaign overall is backpacks, and an ad group, which I'm going to create negative keywords for, is the American Dream backpack. You can create whatever default CPC you want. This isn't the max default CPC, so you could do $1, you can do $1.50, $2, you can try 10 cents. Just do what you think and see the results and go from there. But what you will want to be doing is, for example, thinking about your product. So if you're doing backpacks, then it would make sense for you to target backpacks, right? It wouldn't make sense for me to target the other ones, but backpacks definitely. And here is where I was talking about the bidding, right? So here you have to decide, do you want to undercut it, go a little bit lower, maybe 162? Do you want to try bidding aggressively and say 192, 20 cents over, 50 cents over? You're going to have to, make a decision and go for it and see what your results are and then adjust as necessary. And I would definitely just, for your product name, you could put something like type, and that indicates what grouping you had. So type is backpack. And then you would just create that product group, and then you'll get to select your negative keywords. Okay, I'm going to press continue here because actually I don't want this campaign. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to show you the one that I had created instead. Here I have created 2 campaigns. So I decided to do the backpack campaign as all of my budget. You'll notice that all of my budget is on shopping campaigns. I ended up pausing all of my other campaigns for this video. So I'm only focusing on shopping ads. That is not something that I recommend you do. I instead recommend you continue optimizing your search ads and your display ads, and just put in some of your new budget into the shopping and just kind of go from there and see how you perform. But here I'm working with the entire budget, so we'll see how that goes. But I focused on the backpacks, and I also did a campaign for all products. And I here put in $95 compared to $400 because I wanted to see how all of the products were performing compared to a more targeted campaign where I spent some time with my negative keywords. So this one is really just kind of me getting some information and experimenting to see kind of how all of my products perform on the market. And this one, I'm actually taking some time to really try and get good results for backpacks. Okay, so I created my 2 campaigns. With my campaigns, I created some ad groups. And you will see that my all products, let's just call this all products. My all products has an all products ad group, but my backpacks campaign, I've only started with 1 ad group for now. In my next round, I might do another ad group. So I'm instead just going to focus on 1 for now, and that is the American Dream backpack. And the reason I chose to do that one is because I'm very familiar with it, and I had the greatest success with it in my search ad campaigns. It had a really good profit margin. It had a higher price. So I'm hoping I get some good revenue from it and some good results. Okay, so here from my American Dream backpack ad group, I had a bunch of product groups. So I selected the price $65 or more, and I chose that because it's $65. I also chose the product grouping of the product line because it's the American Dream, and I chose the product group backpack. Okay, so I have these 3 different product groups, and what that means is that the ad will show for any product that is $65 or more. Now, this could be problematic because remember, there are other products that are $65 or more. That means it's going to show the Legacy Duffel, it's going to show the OG backpack, it's going to show the Switch luggage carry-on, and so forth. So in my ad group of the American Dream backpack, I want to create keywords that are negative, right? That are not going to be targeted that aren't relevant to my American Dream backpack. So I went to the keyword research and planning and I started thinking about, what would be something that someone might search for, that would show up on the engine results page. And the way I know it's going to show up is because it has one of those keywords in it. So American Dream backpack, for example. So let's say American Dream, if I entered that in there, I put in American Dream duffel because it might show up on the search ads. And if someone's looking for my American Dream backpack, they're going to be like, oh, that's not the American Dream backpack. That's the American Dream duffel. Okay, so they'll turn away. I also put in alternative. If I typed, for example, backpack, let's type backpack. I see, for example, wheeled travel backpack. And I saw that this doesn't have any wheels in the features. So, if somebody clicked and they were searching for wheeled travel backpack, they'd be disappointed and be like, well, this isn't the product I was looking for. I also saw that leather is not one of its features, so I took that out. Backpack was a little too broad. Remember, we talked about the marketing funnel. Diaper bag backpack. Remember our personas. Who was interested in a backpack? I'm guessing Back to School Mindy was child free. She didn't have kids, so she's not looking for diaper bags. I'm guessing, and she might look for, but it doesn't actually talk about kids compared to, for example, Seaside Sally, who was actually focused on family and children. So I went with the little information that has been given to us in the simulation, and I tried to avoid keywords that were less likely to convert. So I thought about my customer personas, who's interested in a backpack, right? Hipster mom Cami does have daughters, but it sounds like they're older because she's, thinking about it for school. Right, free time shopping, taking daughters to extracurricular activities. That doesn't sound like the kids are, needing diapers. Okay, so I specifically went in boys backpack. She was looking for her daughter's backpack, so I excluded that one, and I just went in and selected anything that would go against, the American Dream backpack. For example, Steve Madden backpack. That might show up because of the keyword backpack. So I selected it. And so remember the way you select it is you go in and you say add selected. And I called it, you might call it shopping and American Dream backpack, right? And you gotta work with what you have, right? So AD American Dream backpack and then create list. And so that's how I created my list. And right now I have 318 words that I have put together. Some of these are, better than others, but I did talk about in the video that even though the simulation says you can have 400, I wasn't able to get 400 in there, and you'll see that in a second. But what you might want to do is limit this to 200 because of that reason, and I would avoid keywords that have very low average monthly searches because it's less likely that someone is going to be searching for it, less likely you're going to have to pay for it. So try and focus on these high average monthly searches that might end up being shown on the SERP, and think about, would someone click on it? Because if they click on it, then that means you are wasting money, and that's, not going to be effective. So put together, try. That's why I say just start with one product for now. So that's why I've only done one ad group, the American Dream backpack. Do some keyword research and planning, put together a list of negative keywords. And once you have that, then you can go into your ad group level. And here you can actually select your negative keywords. Okay, so you could have done that while you were selecting your whole campaign setup, but I did it at the end. So I went in here and you can just select all. It's a little slow, so just give it some time if it's kind of dragging, and make sure that they're all selected. And here is where I was telling you, where I said it only let me do 200, even though I could have had 318. So I'm not sure what happened there, but all of them are selected. And that's where you'll be able to see them down here. all of your negative keywords. Okay, so you have lots and lots of negative keywords available. Now, the other campaign, as I told you about, was my all products. And here I only put in a little bit of my budget. And for my ad group there, I just said all products. And for my product group there, I just did all products. So here it's, I'll show you how it looks. If you go in create product group, it would just be the all products and you enter in a max CPC and put it in there. One thing that I will note is I did not select negative keywords for this, okay? I'm aiming to do that in the next round, and I will do that based on the results that I get, okay? This is more of an experimentation, so I'm throwing out my budget a little bit, and I don't expect to get great results. I might, you know, who knows? But I'm doing this so that I can look at what people are actually searching for, and I can get some inspiration with creating more effective lists of negative keywords, and also deciding, you know, is my American Dream backpack actually a good product to target, or perhaps if there's a more profitable or more, you know, popular product that is out there. Okay, so I have everything all set up here. I've gone through all of my budget here. Remember though, in my video, I've only done the shopping ads. You should be continuing to do your other campaigns and, you know, allocating just a portion of your budget to shopping. I did all of it. So we'll see how I perform. I'm going to click run simulation and we will look at the results in a second. Okay, so here are my results. Remember, I allocated all of my budget, and if I scroll down, I can see my shopping ad results. Okay, so it looks like not all of my budget was spent, so I may need to adjust my CPC slightly, but almost all of it, so looking pretty good. And I made 30,000 in revenue, so I've nearly more than doubled my budget spent, so that's pretty good as well. Okay, so here on the left-hand side, I can see all of my shopping ad campaigns and how they performed. So the OG backpack, for example, had this much impressions and revenue, and Legacy Duffel, American Dream. Looks like American Dream did pretty well comparatively. Go through them. Looks like my Switch Luggage Large had pretty high revenue, so I could consider going a little bit more deeply into a campaign for that particular product. And my American Dream Messenger was not bad either. Legacy Backpack, OG Tote, and so forth. So this information is only in the results tab, so I would write down or take notes on this. You could even copy, you could copy these tables and put them into Excel, and then you could be able to compare them. So I would recommend doing that so that you can see this at a better, more manipulative glance. That way you could actually do some filters and kind of sort them by conversions, because what you'll want to look at, for example, is my American Dream backpack. That was my big goal here. I want to look at the ones that have 0 conversions and lots of clicks. For example, somebody typed in best 13 laptop backpack and it was shown on the SERP and 18 people clicked on it. Okay, that means that if I was paying $1 per click CPC, then I paid $18 for that and I didn't get anything out of it, right? And the reason I didn't get anything out of it is obvious, because if I remember, I think it was 15-inch laptop bags that the American Dream backpack was going to cover. So this is not what somebody was looking for. So once they ended up on the landing page, they were like, this isn't 13 inches. And so they left, and that's why they didn't convert. So this should be on my negative keyword list. I want to continue looking. So here, let's see, cheap travel backpacks. So remember, there was one persona who was interested in using it for travel. That was City Hopper Sue. However, The American Dream backpack, if you recall, there were two options to select. You could do 65 and over for the dollars or lower than 60. So American Dream backpack is actually not cheap. It's higher tier. So because there were lower priced backpacks available in our lines. So in this case, we want to avoid cheap as well as a word in some of our keywords. Let's see what else. Hiking backpack sale, stylish men's backpacks. So you can look at your personas and kind of see, why did this not convert? There may be other reasons why it didn't convert besides what you're looking at, but try and find a pattern, okay? And look for, why didn't this convert? Sometimes when they're searching for best backpack, it might convert if you're lucky, but oftentimes that means that they still haven't really decided, that they're going to buy. They're just in the information searching, process of their consumer decision making. So they're not actually at the, conversion part. So they're not ready to convert yet. So you want to look and because this is not user friendly, I would strongly recommend you just select all of this, go, scroll down with your mouse until you have it all selected. Copy it, Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, and then paste it into Excel. And then you can do that for each of your products, and you can sort and see. I would also note down which one was the most profitable, or which one was giving the most revenue. And that's why I did my all products, because I wanted to see, I wanted to compare, because I was doing, of course, my American Dream backpack, but I wanted to compare and see how the other products were doing as well. Okay, so this is really helpful. I'm going to go in and look a little bit deeper at this. So if I look at my campaigns, there should be some information here. This might be a little bit of a bug in the simulation. Let's see if there's not here either. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So I can look at it at least in my product groups, and I could take a look at how I'm doing overall, right? So I could see, and here at least I can, even though I couldn't see it there, I can still see that information. So I can see my backpack campaigns had a very good return on ad spend. And it also had a very good conversion rate. Okay. It turns out my all products also had a really good conversion rate. So I might want to consider creating and continuing with this campaign for all products. The way that I can improve this, okay, is by going into my keyword research and planning and deciding on, what are some common search terms that would be against all products. So I'm not just thinking, in my American Dream, for example, I selected, what was it? American Dream Messenger, because I was looking for American Dream backpack. But here I might search for something like, when it comes to, other brands. So Adidas, I don't want anything that's another brand coming in. And so I could create, for example, if I add keyword select here, I could call this all products and create list, and then start building something of my negative keywords that I can put into my all products. And remember, that's done at the ad group level. And once I have that all set up, I can just go in here and select negative keywords and select all products, right? And I also, again, can get some inspiration for what kinds of negative keywords to add because of my results here. Remember, I could do that by looking at, well, which ones had, high clicks and no or zero or low conversions. Because if I'm paying for, and I also want to think about the actual amount that I paid, because if I paid, it depends on what your CPC was, but if you paid, $1 per click, and let's say you had, 31, let's say one of these was 57, let's say one of these was 65, for example, the cost of the backpack, then, and you only got one conversion, then you're kind of breaking even at that point. as far as the spend of the ad. You can also put in some calculations for the cost of the product. But unfortunately, if you're covering OG backpack, legacy duffel bag, and so forth, you can't really go that deep into your calculations because unlike the American Dream product line where we were given production cost per unit and retail price, we were not given that information for these other products. We just didn't get that information, unfortunately. So there is a little bit of trial and error. There's going to be some guessing that you have to do, and you can make these changes in your, campaign and in your ad group and everything like that. Now, if you find that all of your budget was not spent, so here I was pretty lucky that my budget that I allocated was mostly spent. That's a good sign that my CPC was working, and I can see my max CPCs here. If you find that the max CPC was too low, you were going way too below the historical CPC or just wasn't a good bid, unfortunately, there's no edit button here. So if that's the case, you're going to have to go back up to your ad group and you'll have to recreate it. So you'll have to go in, create ad group, select whatever it was and put in a new max CPC. And then once you've done that, you can go in and delete or pause the one that you don't want anymore because it's not as effective. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you do want to play around and change your max CPC, you're going to have to do that again at the ad group level. If you want to change your default CPC, luckily there is an edit, so you can change that easily by selecting, typing in anything you want here. And testing it. And I definitely recommend testing it because I did 10 cents here. That could be drastically wrong. I took a guess because I was successful in my previous round. But maybe if I increase that, maybe if I increase my max CPC, I can improve it because it's really going to depend on the market, and you're not going to find out about the market until you actually get out there and start experimenting with the market and seeing, what results you get based on what you do. Okay, so I hope you all found that helpful. If you have any questions or you're seeing some other success stories, drop it down in the comments below. I'm really curious, how are you performing with your search, display, and shopping ad campaigns? Which ones did you find the easiest? Which ones did you find the most successful so far? With the shopping ad campaign, did you do the American Dream backpack or did you do something else? Did you do a different CPC? Let me know. Let's talk about it. I'd love to learn from you as well. And I wish you luck in your round 8 and in your upcoming rounds as well. Thanks for listening.